It's getting to the point where I'm no fun anymore. I am sorry. Sometimes it hurts so badly I must cry out loud. I am lonely. I am yours. You are mine. You are what you are. You make it hard. Remember what we've said and done and felt about each other. Oh, babe, have mercy. Don't let the past remind.
Hey everybody, welcome to the daily update for Monday, April 6, 2026. Happy Monday. Hope you had a great 3-day weekend. I had a fantastic 3-day weekend. Threw the family in the car on Thursday afternoon, and for the first time in maybe 20, 25 years, I actually drove to Vegas. We went the alternative route through the Mojave Desert, doing the old Route 66 thing, which was kind of cool. Spent a few days out there with my sister, hiked Mount Charleston, saw a couple of shows, and then came back yesterday, and it was great. So I hope you enjoyed your respite from the market. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's see here. Okay, let's get CSN out of here. So today's daily update is entitled, Are We Ready to Go? And one of the things I talked about on Friday was I thought we were ready to extend. And if we look at how the market is set up here, look at this. This is so interesting if we look at the intraday, right? So there's that pop that we had last week, right? Was it last week? Yeah, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah. So here's the pop. Then we had that reversal that we came back up like this and went sideways. Remember I said, well, maybe this is the pullback? Right? Instead of a daily pullback, maybe we have an intraday pullback. And what have we done? We've gone right back up to that level. I mean, this is kind of a reverse. Look, every trader sees a head and shoulders everywhere, right? This is not a technical head and shoulders. This is not a technical inverse head and shoulders, but it's got the same feel, right? So we get this little dip here. We come back up, we flush, we come back up, we have a little dip here. The point is, it looks like we're possibly ready to break this level here. If we go to the dailies, I mean, I would have preferred an inside bar there. Be a little bit tighter to stay inside here, but look where we're at. We're right at the precipice of the 21. We are right. No, there's no other. I thought there might be a level back here. So this is a tough call because right now we are still really in a counter trend rally. We haven't based enough, I don't think, to say that there's the move after the move potential. Not unless you want to call this intraday move, the pullback, the move after move, which I don't. So ideally, one more day like this for the 8 to catch up. Tomorrow is the ultimatum, I believe. Tomorrow is the ultimatum by the president to Iran to, I don't know, open the Strait of Hormuz, or we're going to blow you back into the Stone Age. I believe that is where we're at. Something binary and big is going to probably happen in the next 12 to 24 hours. It might be a 45-day ceasefire. It might be we're moving in with ground troops. I don't know. But it feels like we're at a spot where a big move is going to happen. And it could be, okay, there's the end of that counter trend rally and boom, we go back down. It could be, hey, this is enough of a rest intraday and we're going to start going higher. I will say, I keep going back to my screen. I will say, and this is totally anecdotal. Remember, we don't trade on this, but it seems as we're getting closer and closer to the idea of boots on the ground, which was really the narrative over the weekend, the market seems to care less and less. I think a lot of people thought well, the market's going to be down, certainly in the futures last night, certainly today. And I think a lot of people were shocked by the action that we had. So is the market just getting used to it? Remember how we had taco, and then taco, people started figuring out taco? Or remember before taco when we had the announcements about the tariffs and the market super overreacted and then it got less and less? I wonder if this is the same thing. If you go back a year and a half to the actions we've had against Iran, the missile attacks and the bombing stuff, and at first we had futures down to 500 points, right? Now they're like, eh. So who knows? Feels like a tough spot. I would say if you're conservative and you've caught a bit of a run the last few days, you might want to trim and just see where we go from there. Today didn't feel like a day to buy. It only feels like a day to hold if your names have some room in them and you've maybe taken some profits, or you have a longer time frame. So it feels very binary, but I feel like we could move higher. That's what I felt on Friday, and I still feel like it. Anyway, let's stop being theoretical here and let's just look. So, all right, where are we at? We've bounced. We're at the 21. It's a coin flip to where we go here. 2 days sideways or even a day would be perfect. If we look at the Qs, they look the same, really. They're really the same. We're a little bit above the precipice of the 21. Maybe we get a run back up to the 50 before things slow down. Hard to say. Look at this decreasing volume on this pop. That's interesting. Now, we've seen volume patterns that have not corresponded with expansion in price before, and price doesn't seem to care. But normally you'd say that's a little bit worrisome as we, I mean, let me take this back. It's not worrisome. It's actually normal, right? The big move here, and as we go higher into this resistance area, volume slowing a little bit. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to just turn around, but it means like, okay, momentum is slowing. We need a new burst of momentum, or we'll probably start to come in a bit. All right, let's look at IWM. IWM actually looks pretty good here. From looking it went from looking the best to looking the worst to looking pretty good. Like it's put in a lot of work here, recapturing moving averages. It's all the way back up to the 50. It really, it's getting towards the top of this range. So IWM is actually looking pretty good. And the Dow looks like it's ready to rocket. This is what I would have liked to have seen on the other indexes. This completely inside bar here for this day and almost this day. That's a great little sideways base to trade from. We kind of have that, but not really. It's moving up. It's wedging up a little bit, even though if you look at the intraday, it looks pretty flat. So yeah, interesting times. Let's see if we can get a little clue here on the sectors. The VIX, there's the U-turn, there's the fail, there's a little bounce, and this thing looks like it's ready to go down. Looks like it's ready to go down to me. TLT, still stuck in this area after the false breakdown. Dixie, looked like it was going to break down here. Now it gets this little counter trend rally. I'd love to see this thing roll over and just fail this whole area here. Mags, okay, we stopped going down. If we can hold here for a day or two, that would be a great setup. SMH, looking much better after this flush. Much better. So that's a good sign. IGV, not doing anything yet. XLF, looking much better. Okay, breaking down through the bottom of this range, coming back in. So that's the false breakdown or final breakdown after doing this. If we could get back above this trend line here, back above the 50, back above this support resistance level, that would be pretty good. Carry's already kind of going that way. So that's maybe showing us where XLF is going to be going. XHB, still looking like dog crap as long as it's below resistance here. Oil, I'm half tempted to short USO, but not yet. Still way above the 8. Feels like it needs to come back down to the 8 at least. XLE, though, is weak, and so is OIH. Gold, not doing much today, just pausing a little bit. Same with gold miners and silver. XLV, Nothing. XBI, it's taking the day off. TAN, still moving in this sideways range, looking a little bit more like it's going to roll over here. Bitcoin, all right, trying to get back above. Look at this. Kisses the bottom of this trend line. Kisses it again, right at the 50. It's a big spot right here. And pot, up 4 days in a row. That can't be right. Anyway, so on Friday, I talked about a number of stocks that look like they could go, like they could extend today, but they just weren't set up on a daily. Some of them we moved over to the green list, some we didn't. NBIS was one of them, and it extended today, which is nice. So we're waiting for a rest on this one. ASTS extended, got knocked back a little bit, so maybe filling in the wick here would put it on the list. Wolf is another one that extended. Citibank extended nicely. Again, so a couple days, if we get that pullback for a day or two, these things will all set up. What is on the list ready to go? Applied Materials looks absolutely fantastic here. Look how strong this stock looks. Holding the 50, up near highs, very tight range here. So that's going to go over to the green list. Did I set that up correctly? I did not. What else? Microsoft. Okay. Is the pullback done for Microsoft? I don't know, but that is such a tight spot to find it at. So that's going to go over. NVIDIA. It's wedged a little bit higher here. I'd like it to be a little bit flatter here, but this is still a pretty tight spot. If the market does go tomorrow, right, these names are probably going to move. Palantir, tough. But I still think this is a pretty narrow bar that is worth taking a shot. And I think CCJ is pretty close. I'd like a green bar here. What else? I think that's it for today. What was on the list? Bank of America, ba-boom, went. Still could probably clear this area, but I'm going to move it onto the active list. Apple went, got knocked down a little bit, but still cleared this area, so that goes. Iron looks better than it did on. See, this is the little small bar setup that I would have liked on some of those names instead of this big bar. But we got it on Iron, so that's very easy to define risk. So that stays here. JP Morgan technically went, but I think could clear this range, so I'm going to keep it here. Nike looks better than it did on Friday. This would be a snapback trade, not our favorite trades. Meta tried to go today, got knocked back down. I think it's still good for the green list. I think Path is still good for the green list. And there was nothing on the orange list. So that's it. That's where we're at. If you're not in the trading room yet, get in there. And if you get in there, I'll see you tonight.